I'm recording.
You missed some good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying.
It's the funniest you've ever been, and I missed it.
You missed it. Like all my jokes. Ain't nobody gonna see it. It's like if a tree ever fell in the middle of somewhere that there's like other trees and you know the joke. You know
Right,
that,
right. Like when a tree
right.
when it,
If
it,
it falls,
and the wind and it
right. And then
did you
and then
know?
and then woo,
But
right. Who knew?
who would have
Who
known?
knew? Right.
This episode, I just like all right. Let's
I'm
You're
not
ready.
like I could not.
Hey everybody, my name is Faye.
Hi y'all, I'm Erby.
And welcome back to I'm a Fan, the show where we talk shit or fan out about Drag Race. But I don't even know if I feel like doing either of those things this week.
Honestly.
Uh,
Honestly. They put us to the ringer.
I'm not okay. This week we are talking about Drag Race US episode 10 of season 13. Everybody comes back in after Elliot's elimination. And Utica states that she now has like this renewed energy because apparently it felt good to be in the bottom.
Has she been in the bottom before? This is her first time?
No, that was her first time.
Her first time. So I guess it's because she won. I'm sure she would feel differently if she lost. But
I mean, yeah. But
she felt rejuvenated and put a fire up her ass, I guess.
Yeah, which is definitely a good thing. But it was really funny to watch her be like, girls that have been in the bottom, don't you get like this nice little boost of energy? Candy was like, no.
I get where she's coming from. I'm waiting to see this energy. I think we got a sense of that in this episode a little bit.
Oh, definitely. You could tell that she like throughout the entire episode had like a renewed sense of like, okay, I'm in it. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do the thing. Tina's hair.
Oh, girl.
I think that was my favorite moment of the episode.
She butchered her hair at the back
completely butchered it.
But she did it in a way, though, she could get a fade and it could still kind of work.
But honestly, you do what you got to do, really. So, like, if you're freaking out about something and the judges might come for you for it, I'd probably do the same thing. I'd probably be like, all right, let me cut off half my hair just to make this work.
Right. Simone, in regards to her activism and using her drag as activism, and Tina was still showing a little bit of frustration after last week and wanted to remind people that she is competition. I was excited to see what she's going to bring to this episode after she stated that.
I was excited too, and then they said it was a makeover challenge, and I was like, oh,
baby.
Next week. we'll look out for next week. It's a brand new day in the workroom, and everyone's talking about how few of people there are in the workroom now. And Tina was like, oh, I got a whole mirror to myself now that Elliot's gone. I can just go back and forth. And Denali really came for the girl. She said, yep, that's going to help your makeup.
Do you think her makeup is that bad?
I think that Tina has figured out what works best for her face. But I think the problem would then become like transferring that to somebody else's face. Just because it works on your face doesn't mean it's going to work on somebody else's face.
That's what made this maxi challenge so interesting, to see how it translates. Okay. So this mini challenge, though.
Yes, this mini challenge, which wasn't even a mini challenge, but I loved it. I think they should do more stuff like this, honestly.
They got a psychic reading. It was nice, to hear, especially with Tina.
If I'm remembering correctly, she said that they were in like the beginning stages of like kind of the healing process. Her and her dad were kind of getting to a point where like, because he didn't approve of her being gay, they were just recently kind of getting to a point where they were like, okay, we're coming back together. We're trying to mend this a little bit. And then he passed.
It is incredibly sad to not be able to have the opportunity to heal a relationship.
My heart really goes out to her because that's, and to so many like queer people, because that's so many experiences. You just start like bringing this relationship back together, and something bad happens and it immediately like it takes it away from you. You know what I mean? And then some people never get that opportunity at all. So in a way, it's fortunate that like near the end she got like some form of like closure and was able to start healing. But yeah, it's just really unfortunate that he passed before they were able to really like, mend their relationship. Char also outed Denali and Rose for kind of like, kind of sort of maybe a little bit having a crush on each other. Utica's cow talked to her, which is on brand, really.
She said moo.
This episode had like some of my favorite moments of the season, probably. Tina giving herself a haircut and Utica's cow, Clara, giving her moo a message from the beyond. Let's get into the Maxi Challenge. So the Maxi Challenge is the makeover challenge, but of course, due to the pandemic, they aren't able to bring in strangers to have the makeover or family members or anything like that. Right. So they are paired with each other to make over each other into their likeness and also take on each other's persona to see what they can learn from each other. So the pairings were Tina and Rose, Denali and Olivia, Utica and Simone, and then Gottmik and Candy. Tina and Rose, a hot mess, mama. A hot ass mess. From jump, a hot mess. Like the minute Tina put Rose in anything she owned, it was no.
That dragon dress was just so hilarious. Rose looked so uncomfortable. Like it really did not go with her.
But I mean, in terms of like, when Tina and Rose were doing like the walkthrough together and like, rehearsing their walks and stuff, they were getting each other's characters down. So I wasn't too worried in that sense. I was like, okay, the outfits and the looks might not be great. They might not translate well from one to another. But character-wise, I think these two have it down together. The skating thing that Denali was trying to get Olivia to do, it was not working.
It looked like so
everything else was fine. But then she was like, you should like skate down the, and I was like, I don't know if that's gonna translate well unless you put her in skates.
Olivia looked so uncomfortable. It's tough for somebody who's not used to that to do it and to do it gracefully.
Had like Olivia walked initially down the runway and then like, maybe done like a little leg sweep into a skater's pose and then kept going. Yeah. That would have translated a bit better.
Either a cute little leg movement or a stance or, the hands up, the skater tradition, typical skater poses.
Utica and Simone are such an interesting pair in the best way. They have two very different senses of fashion because I would consider them both fashion queens, but it's just like two very different sides of the fashion spectrum.
Utica is much more experimental. To hear them talking about like the concepts, like Utica talking about like the outfit and the skin, calling out your skin. Like I love hearing that kind of stuff, and I knew that would help Simone. I know that if she were to take inspiration from the way Utica uses art and expression and all that, like I think I knew that it would be something that she could use as a tool.
As opposed to Utica, who, it does tend to, be a little too, out there and crazy at times, learning to like reel that back and just kind of like be like, you can just kind of walk down this runway because you are so gorgeous and like you can do that and still be flawless and, still give the judges something exciting and fun. I want to talk about Utica worrying about cultural appropriation because Simone was going to do a BAPS look for the makeover challenge. Iconic, first of all. But I mean, if you're being told to embody somebody else's drag, and Simone's drag is all about like repping her Black culture, then that is what it kind of is. I think it was kind of, from like a production standpoint, I don't think it was like super appropriate to pair the two of them together because Simone's stuff is so like, rooted in Blackness. While there is a thin line between appropriation and appreciation, if we have to do this thing, and me as a Black person, I'm like, this is how I express my art. My art is through my Blackness. And if you have to be me in a sense, you do have to kind of express those things. And that doesn't mean that you have to be performing Blackness. It means that, you know, you have to embody my essence and appreciate my essence and the way that I kind of like, you know, celebrate myself and my culture. Not you putting on my culture, but like embodying the feelings of me with my culture, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I think that at first I was worried because I too didn't think that it was appropriate, but I think that there is a much better lesson to be learned because of it. We did see in Snatch Game a hint of Utica's concerns, I guess, in regards to appropriation. And at that point, it wasn't really necessary. She did not need to be thinking that deep. But with this, I think it definitely was appropriate for her to think that deep because it could have gone totally wrong. But luckily, she did have somebody who was a good mentor. You know, Simone is very much easy to talk to and very much like she knows how to explain these things in a way where it's tangible and, you know, you can really show it and understand it, because there is a fine line, like you said, between appropriation and appreciation, and it really is about, well, you said everything. It really is about the essence and showing respect. A lot of people tend to dress up, you know, in Indian outfits, Native American outfits, you know, African garb, and not really know where it comes from, not really know the traditions that come with that, and just do it because it looks cool. And a lot of times they do it in the most stereotypical way. Seeing this representation and this lesson being learned through Utica, I hope that a lot of people out there are able to learn from that as well.
All in all, I think Simone and Utica did a great job with what they were given, but I feel like production missed the mark a little bit, and I think Rue's response missed the mark a little bit when it came to, you know, them actually asking the question and then Rue being like, "Oh well, just, you know, everybody say love." It's like, okay, well, I mean, everybody say love, sure, but like, you know, let's also talk about what's appropriate and what's inappropriate.
Poor choice of words was made, I think.
Yeah.
Love is cool, but like there's so much more that comes with love, you know?
Exactly. You can love somebody and still, like, you know, greatly disappoint them. You can love something and still not have an understanding of it, or it's like, you know, actual true meaning behind it. And then, yeah, talking about Gottmik and Candy, the size difference was was like the biggest thing that I was worried about. Essentially having to like double their work because they had to, like, you know, redo all of these outfits, whereas other people were just like, LOL, try my stuff on, yay, that looks cute.
Yeah, I was worried about time, if they were going to have enough of it. But then I knew Gottmik is a designer and Candy has a good experience. So like, you know, if anybody could do it within that room, it would be them.
And also, can we talk about like, okay, so like Gottmik is cute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like objectively.
Sure.
But like when they paired together and Candy like hugged Gottmik and like she did like this little like side smirk, like I was like, okay. All right, Gottmik.
Gottmik got it.
Let's be careful out here.
First of all, that face, them cheekbones, the jaw, like perfection, like gorgeous.
It's the day of elimination, and everybody's putting each other in, like, you know, their makeup. Everybody, for the most part, is fine. I'm not super worried. When they reveal Rose as Tina, I about lost my damn mind. She looked so insane.
Rose got it though, because Rose made it work.
Did she?
You know, she kind of did. Like at some point, I ain't gonna lie to you, we're gonna get to that, but like at some point, I did kind of forget. Okay, the makeup's not that good, not good, because I wasn't focusing on it.
Can I be honest? I never forgot. I was looking at her the entire time, like she looks insane. She literally looks like she looks really bad. Like no shade to Tina, but like Tina's just not a makeup artist, you know what I mean? So she did. For me, it was a nar from me. I did not like it at all. No, not even a little bit. Gottmik also chats about a little bit more into their story about being, a feminine trans man. I love that the show is giving her this platform to like actually speak about being a trans man and being a feminine trans man, because really there is no one way to be trans. And I love that little trans kids or even trans adults can watch this and be like, well, you're right. Maybe just because I don't fit, these specific, stereotypes of what masculine or feminine or non-binary are to people doesn't mean that I'm not any less those things.
Just like Simone using her platform for activism, I think Gottmik is definitely using her platform, not necessarily for activism. She's just being herself, telling her story. But through that, there is a natural activism that is being done because it hasn't been done before.
Giving this representation gets to show that to those who like maybe don't, have a trans friend or have like, whatever, insert whatever friend, that like really we're all just people. And all that like bullshit that you've been taught previously in your life is simply just not true. Like everybody's just a person at the end of the day. And everybody's just trying to live their life as a person. There's no one way to be trans. If you're trans, you're trans, bitch. All right, let's.
Why am I trying to vibe with? Wait, there's no one way to be trans. Like, I don't know why it's gonna be kind of stuck in my head.
Good, I'm glad. Hopefully it's stuck in everyone's head. There's no one way to be trans, bitch. Bitch. All right. So let's go ahead and get into these runways. First runway pairing is Rose and Tina. What did you think?
I think that we already know how we feel about Rose's makeup. But I do think that Rose did a good job being less Rose and more Tina. I had the same problem that the judges end up having as well with both looks. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more elevation. All in all, I think I'm a soft fan.
If we're talking about embodying each other, I think they did a really, really great job of like embodying each other's characters. If we're talking about the looks themselves, mama, both of those looks were bland. I don't think Tina like fits well on Rose and vice versa. I will give them a soft fan for their total package. But for the outfits, bland. Really, really bad.
Yeah.
Just the worst up there for sure. Also, why the hell would Tina put Rose in something that is not red, orange, and yellow?
That's what I was thinking. I forgot that. Yes.
The one time the judges are like, be your brand, but on this person, and you put her in something green? What?
Right. Gottmik's outfit, and they didn't bring this up. Gottmik's outfit looked more like something maybe Tina, because color palette wise.
I was so glad that Rose had that reveal.
Yeah, even the reveal was all right.
All right, next we have Olivia and Denali. Olivia looks like Denali.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I know the judges were like, where was the blending, whatever. But like, based on Denali's makeup during the show, that is Denali's face on Olivia. Since the show, Denali has like, adjusted her makeup and adjusted her blending. But like on the show, she had a very harsh contour. So Olivia walked out with that harsh ass contour. And I was like, that she looks like Denali.
As soon as she stepped out with the ponytail and the outfit, even though it was simple, but I think all in all, everything came together really nicely, and it did represent Denali really well. I was kind of fangirling because I love Denali so much.
I was kind of fangirling as well. I was like, everyone should have came out as Denali.
It would have been a much better episode.
It would have. It really would have. Now, if we're talking about Denali as Olivia's doppelganger, I kind of agree with the judges. I didn't really see Olivia in that look. Something that really struck me was like the hair. I think Olivia throughout the entire competition has had like this big curly hair or like this, like, you know, some type of like big style. And this hair was very subdued. Well, not subdued, but like it just wasn't so far what we've seen from Olivia. The eye makeup for sure did. Like the eye makeup is Olivia's go-to eye, where she does like a black liner pattern and then puts like a glitter, like an orange glitter or like a yellow glitter on top, which is such a quick way to do an eye. Oh my God, I need to try that one day because that just seems so quick. You just do like a little do-do-do-do, and then just put the.
In the beginning, maybe in the first few episodes, we saw a little bit more of the pageantry side of her, of Olivia. But there's been more playful sides and the smile and the radiance, you know, that comes from Olivia. I was missing that.
You said the right word. You said smile. And that's immediately when I think of Olivia, I think of her bright, beaming smile. And I was waiting for Denali to smile while she was out there on the runway, and it never really came. She was giving, you know, a very like, you know, oh, I'm in a pageant, I'm glowing, I'm doing all the things. But on the show, when I see Olivia, I think of like the best smile in the world. And I was waiting for Denali to just like come down that corner and just be like, you know, just cheese it, just full cheese the entire time.
This hurts. I think I'm gonna have to give more of a bland, yeah. I don't.
I'm gonna give it a soft fan because I liked the looks. It's just that unfortunately the look that Olivia gave Denali didn't seem like Olivia, and then the smile was missing from Denali's like presentation. Simone and Utica, stunning from start to finish. My favorite group by far.
Everything that we know of Utica, you know, her presence, her quirkiness, the movements, the artistry of her looks. There was a part of me that was like, oh, is the headpiece and the hair a little too much? But the more I looked at it, the more I appreciated it, and I grew to like it even more.
I actually really liked the like headpiece because it looked like some like weird kooky like version of like a brain exploding, if that makes sense. And I think it paired well with like the rest of the piece and the message behind the rest of the piece. So I head to toe actually really love this and enjoy it.
Yeah, no, when you put it that way, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes sense now. Utica's look, I was worried. I'm not gonna lie. I was worried in regards to how it was gonna come out, because especially with the conversation that was had before. But she looked amazing. And she walked out there not trying to be Simone, not trying to be Halle Berry's character in Baps. She just walked out there herself, confident as hell. Like she looked, I mean, she is tall, but like she looked so much taller than I've ever seen her before. She walked with so much poise and confidence, and still was able to still give us some Utica flavor, you know, with the leg. She was doing some leg stuff. Like, okay, that's a Utica.
That's a little bit of Utica. Okay, all right. I love it.
Both of them completely slayed it, and I stand the whole presentation.
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely a stand. If there was a mini series where like Simone put Utica in different outfits and Utica put Simone in different outfits, not necessarily their forms of drag, but like different styles, because I think they do benefit from like learning from each other. I would watch it. I'd watch it for sure.
It was interesting for me to watch Simone figure out. I mean, other than, you know, Ebony Enchantress, like she knew that, but like figure out the details exactly in regards to like what makes the Ebony Enchantress, you know, and you know, just the businesswoman, the business mindset of it all. I can see it working, the gears turning, and I really enjoyed that, and it made me more excited to see what she was going to do in the future, because she's a smart cookie, and the fact that was able to click, like, you know, the world is her oyster now. Watch out.
Yeah. So let's talk about Mick and Candy. I thought when Got Mick came out, she looked insane, but like also in a great way. Like I was like, that is 100% not Got Mick. So that's perfect for this challenge. I think she definitely embodied Candy, or at least like tried to the best of her abilities. There was a lot of like awkwardness still within it, but she definitely like pulled it together from the rehearsal.
She played with it, and that's the point. You know, just let loose. Don't overthink it. Would I be terrified of her if I were to see her out in the Bronx on the streets? No. I probably would laugh also, but she got out of her head and just have fun and let go, and that's the whole point. So I give her mad props for that.
Yeah. When Lonnie said that she was scared for a minute, I was like, okay, girl, let's not go too far. Like, let's not take it too far. Kandi, bitch. That was stunning. Even like the subverting of expectation of like only doing like pretty much the half face. I mean, it was still so Gottmik, but it was Gottmik, but like modified to be a perfect fit for Kandi. And it was so gorgeous. She looked so stunning. Like, I literally can't. I literally cannot. She looked so fucking good.
She looked like art. And I thought, Gottmik is a professional makeup artist, and Kandi is too. So I think it was smart for them not to do the whole face in white, because Gottmik has very sharp, jaws, and just structure, facial structure is very sharp. So like it works for her face type, but it would have looked too clownish in probably a bad way if it was on Kandi, because Kandi's face is more oval, more round. So the fact that they were able to subvert expectations and just do a half face, it highlighted Kandi's facial structures and her cheekbones. She has beautiful cheekbones. So I think it was smart and it looked damn good. And I love the fact that Kandi shaved her butt for this.
Always be prepared. And exactly. That's all I can say. Always be prepared.
I am a stan. I just was living for it.
Absolute stan. They then asked all the girls who should go home tonight. The dreaded question, the question that always stirs up all the drama. Almost everyone says Olivia, except for Olivia, who bases her judgment on the entire competition, and she says Utica. Denali doesn't want to, throw her or Olivia under the bus. So she says, and this is talked about a little bit in Untucked. She thinks about like who can probably take this the best. So she says Kandi, and then Kandi is like, no, bitch, the both of you can go. Let's not even look in my direction. Because right. Tina would never come out here looking gorgeous and whole like this. I was like, damn, Tina didn't even ask for that. Tina was minding her business. Tina said Olivia. This is not in this at all.
Tina could never be this sexy. Like,
she said Tina could never be this hoe. She could never come out here looking stunning and sexy and gorgeous like this. I was like, well, okay. If I was Tina, I would be like, all right, bitch.
They talked about this in Untucked too. Both Denali and Olivia, they didn't want to name anyone else because they felt they knew that they were the weakest link, and that's always a tough position to be in. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with them. I think you never say yourself, period.
Never.
Because we saw what happened when Nikki Doll said herself. They were like, okay, bitch, bye then. Anybody but me, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to leave. Okay, so now we get to the worst part of the episode, IMO. Simone and Utica win, which, completely valid and fair. This is Simone's third win, and this is Utica's first win, which, is definitely a step in the right direction for Utica after being, near the bottom so much and then being in the bottom. This is a good step for her. And then because they are judged in pairs, the pair of Olivia and Denali land in the bottom two. Do you agree?
I do, unfortunately.
Because they were judged in pairs, I agree. If they were judged individually instead, I probably would have put Tina in Denali's place. Denali did a really great job of putting herself onto Olivia. And I think Tina did put herself onto Rosé, but I think if we're talking like branding wise, the green was not anything like we've seen you wear. And then also Rosé just did not look good at all. Mm-hmm. So like Rosé just looked insane. Like, I'm sorry, I can't get over it. Like, she literally, like, no shade or disrespect to Tina or any of these girls really, because I love them all so much. But like Rosé legitimately looked crazy. Like she looked insane. Like I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Okay, so Denali and Olivia are the bottom two, and they lip sync to Shackles by Mary Mary. Honestly, such a bop. Like, oh my God. I be forgetting how much of a bop Shackles is. Like, okay. Because you went to like a Catholic Christian school growing up, correct?
Yeah.
So did you or did you not participate in choir? And did you or did you not have to perform Shackles? Because I'm trying to see something.
Oh no, we didn't perform the Shackles because they basically some mostly traditional Catholic songs, which was boring. But at church, we did dance to it at my church because I'm not Catholic, but I'm Baptist. So like at my church, we did praise dance to it. So I got my little praise on with that song.
I had to perform that in middle school, and like we cut up. Honestly, TBH, we cut up. We had a whole dance to it. We did the whole take the shackles off.
Yeah,
you know, like it was like a whole thing. Yeah. It was a whole thing. I just want to praise her. Like,
yes.
Like
on this blessed Sunday.
My little queer ass was living. I was like, yeah, yes, God. I personally feel like they both did exceptionally well in that lip sync. I feel like it really could have gone either way.
It was very, very well done. Very entertaining. Emotional though.
Incredibly emotional, because regardless of like who went home, I was gonna be very like upset.
Yeah.
I am very upset because Olivia and Denali, you can tell that the both of them still have so much left to give in this competition. So it was heartbreaking to watch the two of them even be put in that situation to have to lip sync. But so Olivia wins, and unfortunately, Denali has to sashay away. She's such a Chicago icon. Like,
yeah,
that was the hard part, is because I'm so invested because I'm, Chicago. She absolutely slayed this competition, and she 100% did Chicago proud. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna speak for the whole of Chicago, bitch. You did that. Watching you on the show was a joy, and I cannot wait for you to come back and win All Stars. So hurry back, beach, or should I say, Jersey. Bitchiana.
I mean, I'm from Jersey, and I rep Jersey really hard, but she got me really wanting to rep Chicago as well, even though I've never stepped foot in Chicago.
Come on.
But because she's from there, and then you're from there, I'm a Chicago stan completely. So
Denali, if you ever see this, I want you to know that you are such an inspiration to me. You have a fan for life. And that's saying a lot because I'm a Taurus and you're an Aries, and we do not typically do well. But bitch, I am in love with you. You are so stunning and gorgeous and talented, insanely talented. And I cannot wait for the world to be safe and open back up so that I can come and see you do the thing that you are best at. Because girl, you are a star.
Thank you for what you did on Drag Race. You definitely left your print, you left your mark, you peed all over it. And we're grateful, eternally grateful. Love you.
And bitch, high key, you inspired me to like try some new shit with my makeup today, because I was going for like, a cute little icy moment because of you, in honor of your excellence. I was going for an icy moment, and I came out with like the stunning wingiana. So thank you for that as well. All in all, Erby, are you a fan of this episode?
I'm not a fan of this episode. Like it makes me feel so bad. Like it hurts. It hurts. So no.
This is the first time you've ever said that you were not a fan.
Yeah, it hasn't hurt this much.
I'm teetering a little bit because on one hand, like Simone and Utica, Candy and Gottmik, really like showed out this episode and really gave us like some spectacular moments. Also like we got some laughs with like, you know, Tina's head and with you know, Utica's cow and Utica's interactions with Rue. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna have to give it a, it's all right. It's not all right, but I'm gonna give it a, it's all right. I'm gonna be right in that middle because I there were so many moments of this episode that I enjoyed, but there were so many moments of the episode where I was like, oh, ah.
I keep forgetting that it's all right is an option.
It shouldn't be used often. It is a rare choice. All right, so next week they are doing a marketing challenge and creating their own soft drink. So that's going to be exciting to see. So come on back next week and we will be chatting about that and hopefully not being as sad about the outcome. But honestly, probably are going to be sad about the outcome because we have fallen in love with all these girls that are left at this point. So it's hard to see any of them go.
Now that you say that, I'm thinking about who would I want to go home? I don't want anybody to go home.
Well, we'll see y'all next week. Much love and hugs and kisses. Go tell a Chicago drag artist that you love them.
Faye, I love you. I love you, Faye.
Thank you.
I love you.
Can I have $5?